Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Hopefully everything is going alright on this fine Wednesday. And now we're going to be going through a new It's Fixed. And this one is a pretty special It's Fixed. Generally, I kind of save some of these up and then do them all at once. But this one has something in it that a lot of people have been asking for since the release of the last major updates. And of course, it is the Suspended Weapons Editor. The preset machine. Now you can customize your suspended weaponry presets, meaning that you can bring along what you want when it comes to certain vehicles in the game. This is something which has been requested for a very long time in War Thunder, many years actually in general, and for me personally it's nice to see, but also I'm a little bit worried about it because of obviously the balance of these things can be a bit all over the place, which is always something to think about. It's going to require a lot of little tweaking when it comes to the balance of the stuff, but overall it's nice to see it, and I hope a lot of people enjoy it and have a fun little time with it. Now certain vehicles will be much more effective, especially the new ones. Now they have the customizable loadouts. So the customization of these suspended weaponry presets can be found when you go to the secondary weapons menu. All you have to do is hit the second weapons one, then you have the preset actions at the bottom, and you also have the filters, so you can kind of move around a bunch of different things. Just hit the create button, it can create a preset just like you do when it comes to your lineups, and you can click whichever types of armaments you want for each of the pylons that your vehicle has access to. This means that you can create some cool presets for a vehicle and kind of go from there. This is something that hopefully will be expanded to more vehicles, but right now when it comes to its general parameters, these new features will be available on the Mirage F1C, the Su-22 UM3K, the MiG-23 MLA, the F-104S ASA, the J-8B, the A-10A Thunderbolt early, and the late, and that is it. Also, you'll be able to create up to 20 custom weapon presets. You can create an edit weapon variant in the hangar before a flight, and in battle you'll be able to select between already created presets, which will allow you to easily and quickly select before respawning, so just like how you have pretty much everything else when it comes to the preset stuff. So this is really nice. This is absolutely fantastic. It's looking really nice. I'm sure there'll be a few bugs here and there with it, as there always is with new mechanics in the game. Right now there seems to be one with the ASA where you can just bring it with no armament, which is kind of funny. You're basically just a flying dart at that point. But hopefully this lives up to what people, want to see. I think for me personally, this at the moment is at least exceeding my expectations when it comes to what I thought would happen with this editor. So it looks really nice, and hopefully people can enjoy it, and I'm sure we'll see some crazy ideas and crazy different, I suppose, gameplay styles based on these things. Hopefully it isn't just everybody just uses the most or the best lineup or the best preset. Hopefully we get a bit of variance when it comes to these things in play styles. They've also made some changes to the APSs that we have in the game, the Hard Kill Active Protection Systems. These are available on the Challenger 2 Black Knight, the T-55 AMD-1, and then also one of the Makavas from the Israeli tech tree. The Makava Mark IV-M has access to one. What is weird though is the article doesn't actually mention the Makava, so I'm wondering if that is also going to get these buffs compared to the other vehicles, but they only mention the T-55 AMD and also the Challenger 2 Black Knight. So what they've done with the APSs is the repair time for them has been halved, and the reload time for them as well has been reduced by 25%. So they'll reload faster on caps or, in general in arcade, and they'll also repair quicker once they're damaged, because obviously it's quite easy to damage them. They don't have a lot of armor on them, and you can just kind of machine gun them to death. They also fixed a bug with them where the reload indicator of the Hard Kill Active Protection remains after a respawn when a previous vehicle was destroyed while reloading the protection system rounds. I haven't had too many experiences with the Challenger 2 Black Knight, but with the T55 AMD, I really like the Droz setup. It seems to actually work pretty well against missiles, and what this means is, you can kind of use it to be able to kind of nullify AT-gem carriers, which is, one of the big attributes about the APS. Not like AT-gem carriers need more things to stop them in general, but yeah, the Droz seems incredibly effective. I do want to get my hands on the Black Knight, and I will do pretty soon to give it a go, but it does mean spading out the TES, and I'm not sure I want to do that on the good old chunky monkey. They're also changing the spotting system when it comes to aircraft, increasing the distance that you can see things from. Basically, if you have an experienced ace crew, you'll be able to spot the enemy from 8 kilometers away, and even with an inexperienced crew, you'll be able to see them from 4 kilometers away. This is going to be very useful, especially in high-tier matches, because of the fact that, you can get engaged upon from anywhere between, 10 to 15 kilometers out, but generally it's more 3 to 4 kilometers out when you actually get attacked. And remember, there are 2 key skills when it comes to the aviation side of things and how different crews work. So you have the keen vision skill and also the awareness skill. Now, the keen vision skill is the skill that tells you how far you can basically see while you are looking through your camera. So wherever you are looking at, wherever your camera is pointed, that's how far in a distance you can see. Awareness is how much people are affected in your vicinity. So you may have noticed when somebody is near you, you'll get a little red arrow which will pop up on one of the edges of the screen. That tells you that your awareness is basically blinking and there is actually somebody near you in that direction. So you've always got to check for that stuff just in case you aren't looking around a lot. In aircraft, you should be looking around all the time though. You shouldn't just be looking straight ahead. You should be moving yourself about. So this should be very good. It'll be great for the average player. It means that they'll be less just randomly annihilated from a distance away, especially as we get larger maps, especially as we get more missiles, which are designed to be used at longer ranges. And yeah, it's a long time coming for these things. I don't think the lower tier stuff should be affected by these. I think the engagement ranges are still basically the same for that stuff, but for higher tiers, I think it is completely fair. They also fixed a bug which prevented aircraft missile seekers warming up with the drop launch button, forcing you to activate your missile with another button, which was the seeker lock-on one. So they've fixed that. I have had a few issues with the thing, but I think that's more down to me just being an idiot when it comes to missiles. Every so often I'll hit the seeker button and nothing will happen, so I have to double click it, and then it's as if the game doesn't register one of them, or it registers both and then turns it off instantly. So hopefully this bug fixes that, but as I said, I think that's more down to just me being an idiot. When it comes to the SDR V103 as well, it looks like they've decided to change that stuff. It says the design of this lineup of the Swedish vehicles included an armored bulkhead between the engine and the main combat compartment. It could cover against shrapnel, but it didn't work against overpressure mechanics. We have found the cause of the error and fixed it, so now such vehicles like the SDR V103s will feel a little bit more protected, which is good, but at the same time, when it comes to dealing with SDR V103s, I just set them on fire 3 times and watch them burn to death. There's also a bunch of other bugs which have been fixed as well, such as the Vickers Mark 7, where it had overestimated repair time for its optics, which have been fixed. I feel like there's a bunch of other vehicles that actually have that as well. The M50 bug has been fixed that resulted in overestimated recoil impulse of the recoilless rifles. The same thing happened with the Centauro 120. They've reduced the recoil on the 120 as well. It was quite fun firing that thing. You would bounce all over the place. The Challenger 2 TES and the 2F, the stabilizer has been added to the Enforcer remote weapon station, which is nice. And then the Macbeth, the good old Vulcan improvement. A bug has been fixed that prevented automatic range setup from the laser rangefinder. So that's good. The AMX-10RC, they fixed the HUD indicated stabilizer mode being on when the vehicle lacks a stabilizer. Classic. The M4A3105, the caliber of the smoke round has been fixed. So it'll either be a bigger plume or a smaller plume. My favorite smoke shell in the game is the Lorraine 155s, because you fire it and it basically covers the whole screen. It's fantastic. Also, the search and track radars with plant position indicators now have 360-degree lock-on capability. This option allows locking onto targets without moving a turret to its direction. So this update is for the EVGA, the Chieftain Marksman, the AMX-30 DCA, the ZSU 23.4, and the ZSU 37.2. So it won't really matter with the 23.4 or the 37.2 because both of those have very slow radars anyway, so tracking 360 is not really advised. But for the other ones, it will definitely make a big difference. The Shilka also, the 23.4, the several radar modes have been added in 30 and 90 degree sectors. Actual radar features variable searching sector in 30 to 90 degree range. So now you can just switch between them. You can, as I said, you can actually make the Shilka have a 360 degree radar if you want. It's just not advisable. Also, for aircraft, they fixed a bug that prevented the SPI set in the air for aircraft with optical lock-on. So stuff like the MiG-27K and the Jaguar GR-1A, because those things need to be more powerful. They are incredibly annoying to fight, by the way, especially the MiG-27K nowadays, if you don't have a usable AA. The AD2, a bug has been fixed that required the Tiny Tim modification to be researched for opening the 2,000-pound bombs, so that's quite nice as well. And they did a few naval fixes as well, fixing some of the firing angles on the Groza, the Hipper, and the Eugen. The Icoma, the circulation angle has been reduced, and also on the Sionin, the type of the main caliber guns has been corrected as well. Some of the other changes that they've fixed, flickering of some objects at high graphical settings has been fixed. My main thing that's been flickering is the extra kind of additional stuff they added last update, where you have random fragments of like wood and things like that around. Those have been flickering quite a lot. Hopefully that's fixed. A bug has also been fixed that resulted in decals removal from vehicles by application crash. Well, that's a problem. Also, a bug's been fixed that prevented removing friends from the friends list of the Steam version of the game. So if you want to, you can do now. Good stuff. Awards button in the achievements menu has become brighter. Good. So then people can actually see it and will click it and be like, ooh, shiny thing, I want to get it. A bug has also been fixed where icons and names of vehicles in local and server replays of the realistic and simulator battles were displayed only for players from the left column of the statistics chart. That is kind of funny. And then also another bug has been fixed, due to which enemy aircraft markers were displayed at shorter distances than stated in the cruise. They also have made the position of the sun, moon, and stars now correspond to the actual latitude and longitude, which is awesome. Basically, they've made it hyper-realistic, and then the time delay of placing marks on the mini-map has been reduced from 30 to 1 second, because basically, if you didn't know, they added the chat back into War Thunder, and what also they did was add a 30-second timer between messages, but this also affected pings on the map, so you can only do it every 30 seconds, so it's nice to see they fixed that after 1 day, obviously catching that pretty quickly. What is kind of interesting about each map in the game as well, it does have a date attached to it, so yeah, it's really cool. At the end of the day, that, you know, they go to that much detail when it comes to all the different maps, and you can kind of work out the history of them and what they're generally based on. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Merciless Reaper, Jerry Provolt, Mega Dino King, Professor X1718, Orange Tail, Sakoshi Tiger, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Eugens Terry, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, Moxie, B. Young, and Derek R., Bareen, Lafouche, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.